favorite essay.
Thank you. So Mariana calls me an essayist, which is a storyteller with a bad memory who has to read. So I apologize. So the thing I'm going to tell you about is called Justice Now with Pulp. Remember when we were kids and we thought that the law and justice were the same thing? Not similar, the same thing. Something bad happens, someone breaks the law, and the police show up. Remember Joe Friday on Dragnet? Or Leave It to Beaver. Beaver was always getting busted and facing justice. A bad thing happens, the law steps in, justice is restored, and everyone goes home for dinner. We believed it. The system worked every time. We trusted it like gravity. You drop something, it falls. Something bad happens, the law fixes it. Justice was like orange juice, freshly squeezed by the hands of virgin monks. Pure and delicious, with pulp. That's how good the marketing was. And we had proof. We had that lawyer, Perry Mason. That man never lost a case, ever. Every episode ended the same way. Some guy just blurts out, "I did it, I can't take it. Perry keeps staring at me." And we were at home saying, "Yes, justice wins again." Then we go to sleep peacefully. The system was flawless. Then adulthood, and somebody quietly replaces your orange juice with something from a gas station labeled orange soda, containing mostly corn syrup and yellow dye number 2. The first crack in our life, the McDonald's coffee case. A woman spills coffee on herself, and suddenly America is divided. That coffee was too damn hot, many people said. The other half said, "It's coffee, it's supposed to be hot," not mentioning that it was 190 degrees. Now I'm thinking, somehow we've turned a court case into an episode of Judge Judy meeting the Food Network. Then it gets weird. Do you remember the Twinkie defense? A guy commits murder. The defense says, "Your Honor, too many Twinkies." So now we've moved from did he do it to should hostess be on trial. At this point, the jury isn't deliberating, they're arguing about ho-hos and ding-dongs. And we learn the phrase ambulance chaser, which is the only profession where the job description is also the insult. Because you picture a guy in a cheap suit sprinting next to the ambulance yelling, "Don't go into the light, I need your signature." And then the O.J. Simpson trial. That was the moment because we all heard the same line. Let's all say it. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Suddenly, this didn't sound like the law. It was four-dimensional poetry. Half the country went, "He's clearly innocent." The other half said, "This is completely nuts." This is not about truth and evidence. It's also about who can tell the best story. As for me, I'm sitting there thinking, this is crazy, this is nuts, this is insane. And then it happened to me. A brief note before I continue. The story you're about to hear is true. The names have been withheld. The location is blurred. Certain identifying details have been changed. Not to protect the innocent, to protect me from getting sued again. Because AI told me to do this. AI told me to cover my ass. And now a question to you, dear audience. How's that for a hook? All right, years ago, I was working on a large technical project for a sizable organization. There was me working away, work. Proudly making spreadsheets and graphs. Everybody loves graphs, right? We had several highly respected people working with it. They were very good with what they did, with impressive credentials. They were famous in the community. One had an elected position in the city. People recognized them, People admire them. As for me, I had a Costco card and a parking permit. Inside the workplace, though, things were more complicated. Prestige, it turns out, does not make meetings run more smoothly. These folks were extremely difficult to work with. A disagreement was not a disagreement. You could suggest throwing out a yogurt from the Clinton administration, and suddenly it was a constitutional crisis. Eventually, their long-term positions came up for review, which is workplace language for do you really want to keep working with these people forever? After a lengthy review, the organization decided not to continue their appointments, and I supported this decision. And I thought, big sigh, problem solved, right? No. A lawsuit followed. The organization was named. Several people involved in the decision were named, including me personally. And they had a lawyer with a terrifying reputation. The amount of money they were suing us for was really close to infinity. Many, many zeros. Being sued for that kind of money is a gut punch. It takes the air out of you. But then you pause and you think, wait a second, where's the lawsuit? They were good employees, we admitted that, but they were just really hard to work with. So the organization had made the decision. Where was the lawsuit? Well, that was not their story. Their story was way better. In their story, I was not someone participating in a personnel decision. I was part of a powerful effort to silence them. My story was we had meetings and decided this was not working. Their story was these brave people trying to save the human race stood against a powerful monolithic institution. Now, I may be exaggerating a little bit, but which would you rather watch on TV? Mine sounds like a training video for human resources. Theirs had music and flair and drama. They had a wind machine, and I had a pocket protector. So now we're in court for weeks. Complex legal procedures, documents, testimony, all explained to the 12 people on the jury who had not asked to take a course in organizational administration. So I'm starting to calm down, and I'm going, it's fine, their story is wrong. Justice wins every time. Perry Mason told us that. Then the verdict. Did we win? No. Hung jury? No. Did we lose? Yes. They won. Which was confusing because I had been under the impression that objective information was participating in the process. This was the moment that the floor dropped out from under me because the jury accepted their story. Not the truth, not the facts, not the evidence. The jury accepted the theater. In their story, we were the institution, we were the committee, we were the bad guys, and they won. In the end, the organization paid, thankfully. I had to pay nothing. But that moment stuck with me because that's when I realized Perry Mason had lied to me. Not maliciously, the same way Lucky Charms lies to children about nutrition. And then I remembered Perry Mason was filmed during the Jim Crow era, a time of racial terror, lynching, and voter suppression. And don't forget the McCarthy hearings. Where was Perry Mason during the McCarthy hearings? Paul Drake could have helped. Dallas Street could have typed something. And by the final commercial break, Perry would have pointed dramatically and said, your committee has been investigating the wrong man. Not much justice there either. So justice does not always win, which is awkward, because that was literally the entire premise of Perry Mason. Sometimes the best storyteller wins, which is great news for storytellers. Less exciting for reality. The truth has terrible presentation skills. Truth shows up with evidence. The story shows up with heroes and villains and a soundtrack. Guess which one people believe? So yes, we all grew up believing in justice. Now we believe in justice. Not injustice, injustice. Justice is hard. You have to read things, compare evidence, understand context. Injustice bursts in like the Kool-Aid man. So here we are holding a glass of Tang, not even the orange soda anymore, reading the label, contains artificial justice, truth sold separately. Thank you.